Hey, welcome to Cook with Jake and Joy and Derek and everybody, formerly known as Cook with Joy. We're in season 5 already. 5, count them 5. And this season, we've really been focusing on actually easy recipes that are nutritious and fun and delicious, but easy to put together. We're thinking Jake. And probably Derek too, a little bit. But this recipe that we're going to make tonight is mulled wine, and I actually learned to make this from Jake. Now, I'm not making it the way that Jake makes it because Jake makes it on the stovetop, and often when you make mulled wine on a stovetop, you burn it off, and it's like completely gone before you know it. It is true that the longer you cook wine, the more of the alcohol you burn off. So if you're just looking for the flavor of wine, but you don't want the alcohol, if you cook it for about 2.5 hours, you probably aren't going to have any alcohol content left in it. So that's kind of cool. Now, it's interesting where this idea of mulled or spiced wine came from. Almost every cold culture has some reference to it somewhere. Jake's mother-in-law is from Austria, and they call it Glühwein. It sounds like glue wine to me, but it obviously means mulled wine. And they almost always, in the wintertime, have some Glühwein on the stove. And they buy these great big jugs of cheap red wine that they use to make it.
Yes, I do have some opinions. So yeah, we do use those big jugs of crappy wine. And I've tried it with better wine, and I like it the same. What I like about those big jugs is that you can make quite a few batches out of that one bottle, and it's pretty inexpensive, and you boil off a lot of the alcohol anyway, so it works well for us. So yeah, Alex's mom, my husband Alex, his mom makes this recipe every single year, and so Alex has been making it for us every winter, and we've just totally followed her really simple recipe. But what's so funny is when we go over to their house and they have it for us made, for whatever reason, she's got like some magic that goes into her recipe that, like, we use the same ingredients, we follow the same recipe, but hers is just like that much better. I don't know what it is, but it's just amazing. So we are always trying to match that. So we use those big jugs of wine. We put whole cinnamon stick, as well as cloves, allspice berries, and then half an orange squeezed and dropped in with the peel, as well as some sugar. And I like to put the allspice berries and the cloves into a tea strainer so they don't like float around everywhere and get into your cup when you ladle it out. But this year I actually started to add vanilla bean, which has been a really, really nice flavor. It's really great, as well as star anise. And it's not only is it really flavorful, but also super cute, which I like. The other thing that I started doing this year, so we have an orange tree on our property, and instead of putting the fresh orange in, we started making dried orange slices. So I'd slice up the oranges, put some sugar on, and then put them in the oven for a few hours. And so you still get the oil from the orange, and it looks super cute, because you could even like put some dried orange. You could cut them into smaller pieces and have them in each cup if you wanted to. It's super, super cute. We also made Glühwein little gift sets for people this holiday season. So we put all the pieces together, and having that little dried orange slice with the star anise on it was just so adorable. So I'm glad that you're making this recipe, and I'm sure I'm gonna love it, but I don't think it's gonna be quite as good as mine.
So I got not such a cheap bottle. I got this Ravenswood, and it's a fairly decent wine. What they suggest is using a cabernet sauvignon. And I know Jake's got a lot of opinions about this, and I'd love to hear her take on how to make Glühwein or mulled wine before we get into my version. So a lot of times people make this at the holidays, and it's awesome to have it in a crock pot or a Instapot like I have here, because you can leave it turned on at a low temperature, and it doesn't take up a burner on your stove, and it doesn't burn off like so often happens. So that's how we're going to make it tonight, and it's going to be available all evening for people who come to visit. And I'm going to make this a lot during the holidays so that people can have some. It was traditionally thought to be made for travelers who were cold and they wanted something warm to warm up with, and it wasn't very alcoholic, so they could go on with their trip, or just retire for the night. We're going to start out with the full bottle, and we'll just add that to the crock pot. This feels so funny to be adding an entire bottle of wine to basically a pot. And then Jake uses sugar in hers, but we're going to use apple cider instead. And I like that idea because we are getting some health benefits of the apple cider along with the sweetness of using the actual juice. And we're going to use 2 cups. Derek!
You need a boy to help you with that?
I think I do. I think I loosened it up for you, though.
Random hands coming in.
I think I loosened it up for you. It's on there. Oh, I'm so glad you can't do it either.
Maybe we need Sandy to do it.
This is why they call it glühwein.
Good Lord.
That's crazy, isn't it?
You have a towel? Like so.
We can't get the cover of this off. Of this apple cider. Did you get it?
No. Oh, yeah.
I'll take it back to Whole Foods. I've got some other apple cider. That's crazy. Okay, it takes a girl.
Oh. I loosened it.
That was crazy. That was crazy. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 cups of apple cider. And I had some people give me shit about using a dry measuring cup instead of a wet measuring cup. So note, please, I am using a wet measuring cup. And adding that to the wine kind of makes me sad to add all that apple cider to wine. But I'm following a recipe, and I'm also believing that that's going to be great. Now, it calls for 1/4 cup of honey, but I think that sounds like a little bit much. So I'm just going to add a little squeeze. And if we need to add more later, we will. And then it calls for the zest and juice of one orange. When you zest an orange or a lime or a lemon, and then you're going to take the juice of it, make sure you zest it first. I have made the mistake of cutting it first and then trying to zest it. And I'm also using this is a cheese grater, and it works much better than a zester in my opinion, because you can put it over the top of the pot and just zest it all in.
That looks like the thing you use to zest cinnamon or the cinnamon grain.
No, that was nutmeg.
Nutmeg.
Maybe I did it for cinnamon too. It's possible. It's possible for a plain yellow pumpkin to become a golden carriage. Do you know that?
Nope.
No, it's from Cinderella.
Is that an Eminem song?
No. So I don't think Jake does this zesting part. We can ask her.
Seems like it would take too long.
She just cuts up the orange and sticks it in there. But I'm zesting it because I'm going to get a little more orange flavor to it. And I'm going to be really curious to see whose glühwein she likes better. I think I'm going to win.
Should we do a blind taste test?
We should. We should totally do that. Okay, so I've got that all in there. I'm going to cut the orange in half. And I could use, I use that lemon juicer a lot that you like so much, Derek, and I could use something like that, but it's a little bit unwieldy for something of this size.
Aren't your hands tired from opening that jar?
They are pretty tired from that. But this is not working that well. I have a glass juicer that's down in my basement. This kitchen is not as big as my last kitchen, and so I don't have as much room. You know those big glass ones? Did your mom have one of those when you were growing up?
I don't think so.
No?
No.
So we used to have like fresh orange juice in the morning, and it would be in this big glass juicer.
Wow.
So fun.
Must be nice growing up in a rich family.
Oh yeah, we were very rich. Yes.
Fresh orange juice every day.
Not every day, but my mom did do it. She was a single mom of 5 kids, and she was a high school music teacher. We were not a wealthy family, but she did really appreciate food. These are navel oranges, so they don't actually have any seeds in them. So I'm just gonna get down and dirty with it.
Make sure you wash your hands.
I did wash my hands. But you know what? This doesn't work any better, so.
So what are you going to do now? Just keep doing it that way?
Yeah.
Looks good.
It doesn't work any better.
Very visual. It's good.
This show's all about class, all about class.
It's like you just turned it inside out.
I did. I just turned it inside out and squeezed the heck out of it. But you know what? This is going to be delicious. That's the benefit, is that you can eat it afterwards. Okay. All right. Now.
It's like eating with joy.
Mm-hmm. You're not putting this in, are you?
Of course I am.
You are not.
I'm the editor and the cameraman. And the eater. It's good.
This is really good. Okay, then I'm just going to stir that all up.
Are you done eating your oranges?
I'm done eating my oranges. Do I have orange all over my face? It feels like I do. But that was just really delicious. I don't know when I've done that since I was a little girl. All right, so then we're going to add a couple spices. Now, Jake puts it into a tea ball to strain it inside, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to, because I'm following a recipe that I got from some website, some random recipe. I looked up all the different mulled wine things. It was very interesting. So 5 whole cloves, and they are so strong. And cloves, I did a thing on cloves. Didn't we do a coffee thing with cloves a couple seasons ago? And all the health benefits of cloves are just like anything that smells so strong has got to be good for you. And then we're going to use 4 green cardamom seeds. And I found out that this is the 3rd most expensive spice that there is. So you're welcome. And they're 3rd only to saffron and vanilla. And they use it in things like bitters, like just really weird and random stuff. I don't even know like who discovered them. I couldn't even find out like where they're actually from.
This is the most highfalutin cooking show.
It's a highfalutin.
Hand squeezed orange juice. And
Highfalutin. And then we're going to add some cinnamon sticks. We're going to add 2 cinnamon sticks to the mix.
why cinnamon sticks and not just cinnamon powder?
Well, first of all, because the powder would get everywhere. Like you wouldn't want to be drinking that. And once again, I can't get, there we go. We're going to add 2 of those. And also, I think they want a more subtle flavor than just like dumping cinnamon in. Now, this recipe doesn't call for allspice, but I have read it in other ones. So I'm just going to add a few little allspice berries just for fun, just to make Jake mad. And the last thing I'm going to add, and Jake's going to she's going to be so envious because I found star anise. And I don't exactly know what star anise is, but it is adorable. And she loves adorable. I'm putting 1 star anise into the mix after I get it open. This was hard to find, actually. There was only 1 store in all of Santa Barbara that had it. But I want to show you this because it's so cute. You're not even going to be able to stand it.
Did you check staranise.com?
No, I didn't. Look how cute that is. It's a little star, and it smells like anise. Now, too much of it
Did you just say it smells like anise?
I did. And anise, anise, not anus.
Ooh.
Anise. We're going to plug in the Instapot. We're going to let it steam for about 30 minutes, and then we're going to add a little bit of brandy to it and dish it up and go sit by the fire. I am so excited.
Shots!
Yum!
I'm so glad that you're making this and that you love it because we love it so much, and it's really cool to have a piece of Alex's childhood and upbringing come into our family. It's really, really cool. But just so you know, your recipe is never going to be as good as ours.
Okay, you know that mine is going to totally be better than yours, Jake's. Totally. And Mom's got to always do it better. But I do like yours a lot, and you did inspire me. So this has been cooking for 30 minutes, and you could cook it for longer. Like I said earlier, when you cook alcohol, you do burn off some of the alcohol. So after about 2 hours, there's really pretty much none left. So you might want to add a little splash of brandy. It calls for 1/4 cup.
That looks about it.
That looked like about 1/4
That was
cup.
pretty,
Didn't,
yeah,
didn't that look like about
pretty
1/4
scientific.
cup? That was the scientific 1/4 cup. So we're adding that, and then I'm going to ladle it into these adorable mugs. Now I wanted to use this adorable ladle, but this is a little small, so it would take me probably forever to ladle it that way. So I'm going to take a big girl's ladle. And I'm seeing now why Jake's idea of putting the spices into the tea strainer might make more sense. But this is adorable, and I've got a cinnamon stick in the bottom and an orange slice on the top. Jake's mother-in-law loves to put these into these little tiny glass jars that she drinks out of. It's so funny. It must be something from her childhood, but it's just adorable. We were just with them for a holiday, and it was super fun. All right, so I'm going to go find my husband and curl up by the fire and drink a little mulled wine. You want to come with us?
Yeah, I mean, no, but yeah.
Nothing better than a little mulled wine with your sweetheart by the fire. Cheers, honey.
Cheers.
So much fun being by the fire. Love it. Thanks so much for joining us for this episode of Cook with Joy. We hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing you next time.